All right, Guy. This is going to be the battle royale, no question. And I think you and I probably both agree that President Obama will likely name somebody, and it will shape up to be one of the most defining issues of this campaign season. Speak about what Republicans should do in this moment. I mean, it was the first question at the debate on Saturday night. We almost knew it would be. How do they stand up for a justice that's going to reflect their values in a heated campaign season when there's a very liberal president in office?
They should do what it appears they're doing, which is to say President Obama cannot and will not replace Justice Scalia. There's an election process already underway. The American people are voting to select a new president. That new president, no matter who he or she may be, will select that replacement. And there's lots of precedent here. It has been more than 80 years, as we heard at that debate, since a Supreme Court opening came up during an election year and was filled during an election year. There is a long history of the Senate declining to confirm a president's selection in an election year like this, stretching from John Quincy Adams to LBJ. There have been multiple Supreme Court vacancies that have sat open for more than a year. So the precedent is there, and it's heard from Rich, the Democrats at the end of President Bush's term, not just rank-and-file Democrats, the leadership, Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer, they were saying, no way we're going to allow this to happen. Chuck Schumer was saying nothing's going to happen as early as 2007, mid-2007.
Right.
They play hardball on the Democratic side.
No question.
The Republicans have to link arms and do exactly the same here.
Not only that, I think a lot of Republicans, Katie, feel like they gave Mitch McConnell that majority in the midterms, and they want to see that paid back to them. And, you know, as Guy mentioned, you could cite Alito's confirmation in 2005. I was digging through my memory this morning, and Senator Barack Obama voted in favor of a filibuster. So McConnell could flex his muscles and say, okay, 60 votes.
Yeah, I think it's very important to break this down into simple terms. The President of the United States has the constitutional authority to nominate someone. The Senate has the constitutional authority to then, and obligation, to consider someone. They're under no obligation to confirm any nominee that the President of the United States puts up. We've seen in the past that Senates have denied many nominees that have come from both sides of the political party. And I think when it's important to point out that when Mitch McConnell says in his statement that the next president will choose, he's not saying that President Obama doesn't have the authority to nominate someone. He's simply saying, we're not going to take it to the floor. We're going to deny the nomination. And the next president, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, will be the one who decides who fills Scalia's
But here's what's so interesting about what you said. Because what Mitch McConnell and others are saying is not that they will consider. It's that they don't even want Obama to put somebody forward, which is insane. And I will explain why. The president does have the authority and the right. He's still the president, I'm sorry to say, for all of you, but until 2017. He does have the right to put somebody forward. Now, the Senate could very easily vote that person down, give them an up and down vote. The Republicans have the majority.
What do you think about that, Julie? What do you think about that filibuster? Because that 60 votes, they wouldn't get it.
You don't even need to filibuster. Give them an up and down vote. Where the Republicans are missing the boat here, I think, politically, is that instead of saying, sure, we'll take up the Obama, we'll take him up on it, we'll consider it, and then we'll vote on it, and the person wouldn't go through anyway. They're digging their heels in and saying, we're not even going to consider it. That is a massive, massive political mistake for the Republicans. It makes them look obstructionist. It makes them look like they want to get nothing done.
It makes them look like Democrats. It makes them look exactly like Democrats.
Well, listen, you guys criticize the Democrats for it. Don't do the same thing. Give them an up or down. Give them an up or down vote. Vote them down.
Wasn't the precedent set by Democrats, though, Dagan? I mean, they have pulled these stunts over the years. So why should Republicans now do anything different?
To Guy's point, what Chuck Schumer said, that the Democrats should refuse to confirm any nominee to the court by President Bush and any future Republican presidents unless they were candid in their confirmation hearings, to Schumer's liking, if you will. I say that Mitch McConnell schedules a vote if President Obama nominates somebody to the high court. Can you imagine the damage it's going to do to the court, given the partisan divide that we see in the Senate right now, and the damage it could do to the Senate in arguing over this in an election year? If you want to think that the next president having that nomination at his disposal is divisive during an election year, can you imagine the fight that's going to go on if there's a discussion?
You guys, I'm sorry that Justice Scalia chose this time to pass away. I'm sorry it wasn't more to your liking a year ago, because that's exactly what I'm hearing from the Republicans. The Republicans are saying we never had somebody confirmed in the last year of the president's term. We actually did in 1988. that Justice Kennedy was nominated a few months before 1988 came around, but nevertheless it happened.
Because there were two others.
The opening was in 87.
Right. Because of Bork and then Ginsburg.
They brought Bork down.
But they brought Bork down, but they confirmed Reagan's nominee.
Well, I think
they still confirmed Kennedy.
I think it's also important to point out that it's not just Republicans who are in a political risky position here. I mean, President Obama is in a bad position because he does have the duty as the President of the United States to put someone up for nomination. And he doesn't want to be embarrassed now that the Senate is controlled by Republicans, that they don't confirm his nominee in his last year of his presidency. His legacy is on the line.
Right.
And based on what the president has done before and his history of appointing radicals to the court, I doubt that he's going to be any different this time. Now, what he could do to embarrass Republicans is appoint someone who's more of a moderate and, of course, appoint someone who's easy to put, demagoguery and rhetoric around. So if it's a minority, if it's a woman, then President Obama can stand up and say, look at these Republicans being obstructionist.
Whoever he nominates, the Republicans have already said that nominee is dead on arrival. He can nominate somebody in Justice Scalia's mold, and they've already said he's dead on arrival. So what's
But he won't.
It doesn't matter. Even if he won't, they already said he's dead on arrival.
Even if Republicans would take Julie's suggestion and let him and say, okay, fine, feel free, nominate somebody, we're going to let you do that, and they would stand up to them, Democrats would still say you're blocking the nominee, there'd be a big hullabaloo over that. It doesn't really matter. Isn't the argument really that the voters should decide at the ballot box who they want to serve on the court?
Yes, the election is already happening. Let's pick the next president. And by the way, the Democrats are going to go into their histrionics, as they always do, whenever the shoe's on the other foot. This is going to be a really partisan issue.